Yes, it's true. When this finds you, then please, I am begging you, it is time to stop binge eating. And look, I get how tough it is because for years I used to secretly struggle with binge eating. But I've went from that to now helping Christians from all over the world to stop binge eating. And today I'm going to give you the 5-step simple plan which is going to help you to achieve the exact same result. Let's go on to step number 1. So let's start by addressing one of the biggest lies that society will ever tell you. And think about it, your friends believe it, your teachers believe it, and everyone wants you to believe it too. To understand this lie, I want you to imagine you are walking you're walking around your area as you usually do, and then this time you see a new guy, it's a new face. And so you go to him and you say hi, you start to talk to him, you chat, and you see that, oh, he's actually a cool guy. So he invites you to go out to dinner. So you go out with this guy to dinner, and as you eat your dinner, you look at the bill and you're like, wait, this is very expensive. But he says, don't worry, it's on me. And so you chill down, and over the next weeks and months, you go out to dinners with this guy, and he's paying a very expensive price for these dinners. But you just say to yourself, he's paying, so it's okay. But then one day, as you are laying on your couch, you decide to check your savings account, and you're like, what? It's like literally zero. Then you do some research and you discover that, oh, this cool guy had actually hacked your bank account. So this whole time you thought you were having fun and you're not paying anything, but you're actually paying him the whole time. Let me ask you, would you consider that guy a friend? And would you want to hang out with that guy ever again? I'm going to guess the answer is no. Now, would you want to hang out with that guy once every 3 months? Again, the answer is no. And let me tell you, that one guy, he is junk food. That is literally how junk food works. Every time you eat it, you feel fun. You don't think you are paying anything. But if you could see at your health after you're done eating junk food, then oh my god, you would see how much it's deceiving you, and you would not want to hang out with junk food again. So that is step number 1 of this plan, which is you need to eat 100% whole foods. I know that you like eating your cookies, you like eating your chips, and you think it's impossible. But let me remind you, fellow Christian, Daniel did it. If you read the book of Daniel, John the Baptist, if you read the book of Mark, he ate locust and wild honey. So if they could do it, so can you. But let's move on to the next step for the sake of time. Now I'm going to guess if you are watching this, then you have tried to stop binge eating many times before. And all those times you have failed. Now, and I'm going to tell you what finally worked for me after I tried to stop many times. And to understand what that is, we need to listen to Will Smith for a few seconds here. So let's listen to him.
I learned very young from my parents, absolutely, that you don't try to build a wall. You don't set out to build a wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that's ever been built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. There will not be one brick on the face of the earth that's going to be laid better than this brick that I'm going to lay in this next 10 minutes. And you do that every single day.
And soon you have a wall.
And soon you have a wall. And I think psychologically, the advantage that gives me over a lot of people that I have been in competition with in different situations is it's difficult to take the first step when you look how big the task is. The task is never huge to me. It's always one brick.
And basically the summary of what Will Smith is saying here is that don't focus on this big, massive goal, but focus on these small steps which you can take to reach that goal. And for you, that big, massive goal is to stop binge eating. But the small steps that we can take are the habits that we build along the way. Which is why the second step is you need to focus on building the right habits. Because habits are what you do on a daily basis, and eventually your habits create your dream outcome. It's a very hot in here. And look, a few weeks ago, I went through a very painful period of my life My neck was injured, so I couldn't record videos. And since I couldn't record videos, I couldn't edit, I couldn't post. Basically, I couldn't work. And my back is an injury, so I couldn't sit. So all I could do was just walk and sleep. And it sounds pretty normal, but it was quite painful. And in that period of time, habits are one of the biggest things that prevented me from going back to basically overeating and ruining my life. Like, habits are what kept me on top and what prevented me from sinking. So habits are just so important. You need to focus on building habits. And now let's address one of the biggest triggers for binge eating in a lot of Christians. And that big trigger is hunger. But unfortunately, most Christians don't really know how to deal with hunger. And so they get to the end of the day and they are very hungry and they are starving. And as a result, they end up binge eating. I mean, same thing for you, right? How many times do you remember binge eating at night? And also for me, like, I used to also binge eat at night a lot. And a big cause of that is the inability to manage hunger. So here is how you manage hunger very well. You need to find a way of eating which allows you to eat frequent enough for you to stay full, but not too frequent for you to be too full. At the same time, it shouldn't be too infrequent for you to starve. And I know that sounds a bit complicated, but you just need to eat 3 times a day. That is the third step of this plan. And I found that eating 3 times a day is like very doable for a lot of people. And I want to stress this very important point. You eat 3 times a day and only 3 times a day. Look, when I was basically fat and overweight, binge eating was a big cause of that, I know. But another big cause of me failing to lose weight for years was this overeating and this random snacking. I could walk into the kitchen and then I just see my brother's plate of food and then just take a few bites randomly. And these random eatings are what actually makes you fat and what makes you overeat at the end of the day. And so when you eat 3 times, then you don't eat during the other 3 times, you are going to find that yes, you still binge eating, but your weight loss will also stabilize and you stop this cycle of losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight, gaining it back. That cycle will finally start to slow down. And that is why you just need to eat 3 times a day. Now, the next secret is going to save you from that bloatedness which comes after you binge it. And please do not abuse this secret. So, when you eat, right, and let's say you are sitting down and you eat and you send food down to your stomach is going to start to digest that food. I mean, if you did your grade 2 correctly, you know this by now. But what you may not know is that when you are walking, that's when a lot of muscles which help in digesting are actually active. So you digest food faster when you are actually walking. And that is why the next secret is you need to aim to take a 10-minute walk within 15 minutes of eating. And what you find is that after a binge, right, and you are feeling stuffed and your stomach is like, I'm too full, you're feeling like so bloated. I know you feel the urge to just lie down and wait for that bloatedness to go away, but you'll find that if you go on a walk, then that bloatedness is going to go away faster. Now, don't go on a walk immediately after eating, but I'm telling you, that bloatedness and that too full feeling you feel after you binge is going to go away faster if you go for a walk. Now, I'm not giving you an excuse to binge it. I'm just telling you that is how it is. And in case you mess up one day, you can always know that you have these two in your arsenal, and these two can save you from suffering in pain for a long time. Now, the final step is going to bring all of this together, and it's going to make all of this start to make sense. And to explain this well, I need to go and get my whiteboard. So wait for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back and I have got the boards. Now let's explain the final step, which is going to bring all of these steps home. Okay, so imagine this point right here. This is point A, and there's a driver here with a car. And then he starts driving, he's driving, and then he gets to point B right here. And it takes him 5 years to get here. And then he decides, okay, it's time to go back. How long do you think it's going to take him for him to go from this point back to where he came from? If it took him 5 years to get here, it's going to take him a very long time, right? Imagine this driver says it took me 5 years to get here, but I want to get it back in a week. Do you think that's going to work? You are probably going to think that driver is stupid, right? But this is exactly what you are doing. This right here was your emotional state, basically how you were before you decided to binge it, like as in how you felt, how you behaved. And over the years of binge eating, you have ruined yourself to get here. And this is where you are now. And we need to go back here. So don't expect this to take to be fast. You need to expect this to take a long time. Now it's not going to take you the same amount of time. It took me about 2.5 to 3 months to reverse this. And it's also going to take you a few months. It won't take you years, trust me, it won't. But it's going to take you quite a long time. And it's going to take a way longer time if you expect it to take less time. Now, I went from being here to basically now I'm pretty sure I'm somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm actually in a better state than I used to be. And I can help you to get here faster. So if you click the link in the description, you'll be able to book an absolutely free call with me, and I'll be able to also help you to implement the system to get you back here, even up here faster. It's free, and I'll see you on the call.